the human-animal bond is the perfect way to address the idea that it doesn't matter where you're from, how you look like, what you do, you are able to have a very diverse bond with animals, whether they are your food animals or your pets or any way that you interact with them. And I just think that's so wonderful, and I love seeing it in different people, how different people of different regions take care of their animals.
That's something that all I know basically. It's something that is I don't even know how to answer that one. It is something that is, for me, it was an outlet. I was always portrayed as someone different in my family, like, oh, you're the outcast, you're the different one. And with my animals, it was like I was never judged, and they loved you either in bad or good times, and they were kind of there. So the bond is just something that is beyond just, I guess, interpreting each other or understanding. It's just
being Peruvian, the human-animal bond is not as strong, and is now stronger than before because of all the research, there's been more publications, there's more emphasis on the human-animal bond over there. Being in Puerto Rico, my parents and my dad's point of views about human-animal bonds changed, so that because I had a dog at first and he would only be outside. It was like our guard dog. It was not much of me and the dog playing. It was more like he's gonna protect the house. Mm-hmm. So, but now over the years, since I've focused on me wanting to be a veterinarian, it all changed, and now with Coco, it's like their child. So it's totally different.
There's just something so unique that, you get this warm feeling just seeing another animal. You can't really speak the same language or anything like that, but just kind of being able to look into each other's eyes, being able to touch one another, and it's just kind of this almost, maybe not necessarily psychic connection, but you kind of feel something in your mind and your heart. It's just nothing but positivity.
I think the human-animal bond definitely, I think it matures us as human beings. It gives us insight on creatures that can't communicate with us, but we still have that special connection with them, even though.
No, it didn't. It was usually the negative influences that I looked at that kind of made me reflect on myself and say, do I want to be like that one day? No, I want to be like this, so what can I do to get there? So it was kind of more so. Growing up, I can remember being asked, are you going to go pro? And I'm like, no. That wasn't my idea of going pro. And then I'm like, I want to be a vet one day. And generally speaking, from where I'm from, athletes are great. That's generally what people do to kind of get out. What about me being a vet? Is that not great? So it was kind of one of those things where, yeah, I did get pushed to continue doing basketball, but it was something that I knew that this is what I wanted to do, so I kind of followed it. But basketball has been my pathway for everything, basically. I walked the yellow line to get here, and then once I got here, it was like, okay, I wouldn't have been able to do it without basketball.
I think for me, when I decided I wanted to be a veterinarian, I didn't know any veterinarians, so I didn't really know exactly what I was supposed to do next. It was kind of, okay, I know what I want to do, I don't know how to get there, so trying to almost figure it out on my own. Well, what exactly am I supposed to do? These next steps, what are my prerequisites? Do I need clinical experience? Do I just need general animal experience? Is research experience okay?
So my mentor was Dr. Tracy Hanner. He was actually the first African American to graduate from NC State College of Veterinary Medicine, and so so he got me into meeting new people, making connections, networking, seeing veterinarians and doctors that looked like me. That also inspired me even more.
Having my big, Laura, my big was so different. She pushed me to no, apply to other schools, you'll make it. I just emailed her and she agreed for a coffee, and I told her everything, my concerns, everything, and she even told me you gotta apply now, when I thought I still had a year. She was like, no, you have to apply in May. And it was like, what, March? I was like, whoa. And she was really helpful. And she I think I asked her almost a question every day for the past.
Wearing my headdress here at the CVM was a little bit challenging, not because of the CVM itself, because the environment here has been very supportive, but I actually entered vet school wearing it's called the hijab. I took it off for a lot of personal reasons, but part of the reasons were that I was beginning to become very afraid and uncomfortable. So being the only this happens every time. Being the only person that I had ever known to enter into veterinary medicine, wearing a headscarf was really difficult because you really want to find that support. You really want to find someone there for you to be like, I know you look different. I know people are going to stare at you in the hallways. I know that sometimes when you walk outside, people are going to yell really mean things to you outside of their cars, because that's happened to me before. And you're going to feel really unsafe in your own identity. And it's just really sad because the efforts that NC State has tried to put forward, especially in our current climate, to make us feel safe, to make me feel safe, and then feeling like I had to abandon a huge part of my identity because I didn't feel safe. It felt really uncomfortable, and it would bring me so much anxiety. It got to a point where I couldn't get out of bed in the morning because I was just really afraid to just look like that every day. So I felt like it was something I had to do for my own well-being, and I did it. I took it off, and it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I know that my grades took a toll my first semester here. It became really difficult to study. I felt really guilty. I still do feel guilty because I did love it, and I do acknowledge it as part of my Muslim identity. But and I really, really do hope to wear it again one day, which.
Then my main goal was getting into North Carolina, which for us being Puerto Rican, it's like a whole other thing, because they tell you that we shouldn't even apply to the United States. It's really different. The mentality over there is totally like we should not even try because we're probably not gonna get in. So it was hard for me, and when she got into sick, my big sister, like from the vet school, when she got into vet school, she was interviewed by the local news in Puerto Rico because it was actually a great success for her to have gotten into so many schools.
I think the biggest challenge is you may not be taken seriously. And then in vet school, you hear stories of, people of color or women veterinarians. They'll meet a client and the client will be, oh, no, I want to speak to the real vet. Almost as if there's no way you truly made it through vet school and you're qualified to be speaking with me right now. I've spoken with black veterinarians who have had racist clients, and it's kind of, at the end of the day, you have to do your job regardless of how you may feel about this person or how this person may feel about you.
To start, there are not many African American females in the profession to begin with. And so I feel like that automatically puts a light on us. And it's not necessarily bad, it's just that, visually we are different, and that's just something that is experienced in America in general. Sometimes people will assume that you don't know something. It's like, oh, you're actually in vet school, but a majority of people are actually, excited and they're impressed. They're like, oh my gosh, that's great, congratulations. But when I graduate, I would hope that the fact that I am a woman of color and I will be a doctor, that will be more of an influence to my community and the people that surround me more than. In high school, people will always ask me, Jada, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I'll say, I'll say, well, I'm going to go to North Carolina State University. I'm going to get my undergraduate degree in animal science, and then I'm going to go to NC State College of Veterinary Medicine and get my veterinary degree. Well, turns out I didn't get into NC State because of my SAT score. And so, that was something that was very, I'm not going to say traumatic. Well, it was a little traumatic because I didn't know that I was going to end up at A&T. But I was like, if I don't get into NC State because of this standardized test, if I don't do well on the next standardized test, which is GRE, does that mean I'm not going to get into vet school? And so that was a really big struggle for me. And, look at where I am now. So
knowing that I could make it, a lot of others have thrown themselves out there to be able to apply to the United States because it's something that we can actually do. But mentors think we can't. But we've proven them wrong. If they are going to look for someone with a Hispanic or Latino background, they're probably going to grab someone from that state. They won't be looking for someone from Puerto Rico. And it's going to be even harder for us because they think because we're from Puerto Rico, our English is going to be different. And the mentality that they had was that we're going to be seen, oh, you guys are from Puerto Rico, you probably struggle more with speaking English, so that's going to be something that's going to be attached to our file. So they try to tell us so that we don't get discouraged to not apply to any school and mainly focus on Caribbean schools like Ross University, the Costa Rica has another vet school. And then they also mentioned for us to apply to Tuskegee because it has a large population of Puerto Ricans. So that's something that's really, since from the get-go, as soon as I wanted to apply, everyone that I know that wanted to apply to vet school focused on those 3 schools. And then having my big, Laura, my big, was so different. She pushed me to, no, apply to other schools, you'll make it.
What did you make?
Yeah, I got into 7 schools.
It's kind of suffocating to have to explain over and over and over again that if Muslim women who wear hijab are oppressed, they wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here in one of the top vet schools in the nation. It's just, logically, it doesn't make sense. And you wouldn't see them becoming doctors and all kinds of professions. I have friends who are engineers, who are pharmacists, who are librarians, everything. They do everything. And they do it with a headscarf on. So it's just
So, why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs?
Oh, why do you have to be careful? Why?
Because you could step in a poodle.
Okay. Raining cats and dogs. I don't know.
You might step in a poodle.
Get
it?
Yeah.
Get it?
No.
Yes.
You can step on a poodle.
Step like a puddle.
Yeah.
Is this air and?
Well, it's due on Monday. So we've got.
Yes.
Why would dogs make great telephones?
I have to guess this one. I don't know.
Because they have caller ID.
That's